This is the final video in this series of videos on Termitomyces hemii collection which we got from Goa University campus on 7th of September 2022 today, which I am studying for different purposes, especially with a focus on the last stage of decomposition of these mushrooms. And my wife was, Melinda is sitting here, she was curious. Here she is looking at me and the mess that has been created here, and she had certain question because she is one of the few persons, she is a BSc agriculture graduate, and she doesn't waste anything. She collects even the peels of banana and everything that is left in the kitchen, and she has some plants outside where she tries this kitchen based compost. So she was curious because I was about to hand over the tray to her, and she had some questions for me which are very interesting, because this is the way then Indians should think that in nature. I told her nothing goes to waste. So she said, how it, if in nature nothing goes to waste, then mushrooms also will not go to waste. So what use we can make of these decomposed mushrooms? Because she was not interested in just throwing them out somewhere in the municipal dustbin. So exactly what you wanted to ask, Melinda?
See, these are in the final stage of decomposition, right? This
Yeah,
mushroom
Termitomyces. Yeah.
species. So what I wanted to know is this Roiniveli or Termitomyces. Is it possible that I could use this, for preparing nitrogen-rich compost? Is it possible?
Yeah, because you know that you said nitrogen rich, that is the important term, because after all, leaf protein is rich in nitrogen. If the leaves of any plants are very green, that indicates nitrogen status of the soil. It is a universal indicator. That's why wherever cow dung is deposited, you will always find very green grass. In the same way, this is now, these mushrooms which you are watching here decomposed and completely, devoured by the various types of worms. They have chitin and chitosan, which are basically the polymers of this one acetyl glucosamine. So they are basically amino sugars with a very high nitrogen content. So suppose now you decide to uh, compost this by using your normal method. I would request you to do some comparison. How are you going to do that comparison, and which plant you will select?
Okay, now what I will do is I will compost it with the soil and then compare it with the vigor of the plants. Basically, I want to see the root shoot ratio, okay, and one grown with normal kitchen compost and the other will be with decomposed mushrooms.
Yeah, that is a good idea, because you know why? Because I don't think that anywhere in the world this experiment with any type of mushroom as source of nitrogenous fertilizer has been tried, either with wild or cultivated mushrooms. They have overlooked that aspect. The reason may be quantity, quality, that availability. They generally recycle the substrate, but here we have a case, and you can see now, no, that at least 12, 15 good specimens, edible ones, wild ones, are going to waste. But we can convert this biomass into nutrients in the soil. And you want to compare it with which plant you have in mind for comparison?
Now I basically want to try with citrus, that is lemon. Okay, I've grown
Lemon or lemongrass?
no,
Lemon.
I want to try it with lemon, not lemongrass, because lemons I have grown many of them. Okay, and I've propagated it through seeds. So I want to try it with With
So we will compare two different plants.
Yes.
In one you will use kitchen normal compost.
Yes.
And another one
Will be with
from
the
today.
decomposed, yeah.
Today you will mix it with soil. We will chop this.
Yes.
And you will take it away, and instead of disposing it off just like that.
Yeah.
So I am handing out the tray over to you.
Hand over the tray to me
Yeah,
and I
and
will compost it.
please
Yes.
clean this mess. I don't call it mess because they are important. That members of local, insect community. We don't know anything about them, but it is a good idea. And remember that you will be the first person in Goa, India, and Asia and world to use these mushroom specimens as trial compost. So take this very seriously. Okay.
Yes, sure. I'll